Okay everyone, so I'm going to try and make this pretty simple. So I've created these tail lights, these housing covers in Fusion 360. I originally used a 3D scan which looked a bit like this. Bit messy, bit horrible. I used an Xbox 360 Kinect sensor and this is what I got. After a few iterations I managed to get to this. So this is optimised for 3D printing. You get some nice little fillets there, make it look a bit nice. You could also make a negative mould and cast this in resin or carbon fibre or whatever. I've made it look like carbon fibre here because, well, it looks nice. So anyways, we are going to set up today for a tail lamp. So I'm going to use this, this Nava one. As you can see by the dimensions, this will fit quite nicely. Now what you want to do is you want to actually get something that's got dimensions here, like this. Now 100 by 130, sorry, it's 130 around and it's got 100mm spacing. So what we can do is we can go back in here and obviously we want that to sit, what was our sizing? We want it to sit 30mm off. So what we can do is we'll go to construct here at the top, which gives us an offset plane, and this is the front edge. I've made this specifically flat for this reason. We can offset. We want to go the width of the tail light off. So that makes us an offset plane here. So you can see that is now sitting just here, just off, and that would be 30mm. And we can actually click the inspect button, and it gives us a distance over here of 30mm. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to create a sketch, and we want to project, so you push the P on your keyboard, you want to project these two faces, so they're your two tail lights. Okay, now here we've got a dot halfway between these, that is our center line. So, or we can go from there to there, and then pick up our center line there. That's our center line of that, center line of that, and then if we go halfway between those two, that is our actual center. So what we want to do is highlight all these, go over here to the right and make these construction lines. So now they exist, but they won't really affect anything else we're doing. And I'll just do the same on the other side. Center of that one. Center of that one. And center of that. Okay. Now we have construction lines and we know exactly where the center of each tail light is. Now we're going to go back and we go, okay, well that's 130 we're going to need for our actual light. So we'll push the C button on our keyboard and draw a 130mm circle. Now immediately you can instantly see that is going to go past the very side of our tail light on the edge here. You can just see it. As you can see, that is actually wider than the car. So that won't work putting it there. Now, I think I've constrained that, so if I delete this line, I can now move this. I can go inwards. 5mm seems to work. Or, if we really want to be pedantic, we can delete him. And we actually have, let's get a center, so we'll get our center here. I actually didn't put this line here. Project him there. Okay. We've got our center of this line. Go to there. Make him a construction. And we go back. We can go center to the very edge of the actual object. Make him a construction as well. And then our center will actually be there. 130, boom. And now if I really want to be lazy, I can actually create a halfway between these two. And what I can actually do now is I can go create, mirror, select that, and mirror him over there. And now I have two perfectly mirrored these constructions. Why didn't those become constructions? Construction? Okay. Two perfectly mirrored. Now that's the size of our actual tail light. So that is the minimum we want. Okay? Now the thing is that doesn't really help us, because if we try and make anything out of that right now, our tail light's not actually going to fit. So what we want to do is we want to push the O on our keyboard and offset that. Now I normally go about 5mm, because as you can see 5mm still fits into the whole thing. So we'll offset that by 5mm, and that doesn't interfere with anything, but it also gives us the space we need. So now what I'm going to do is, as you can see, we've now got everything exists on this flat plane here, and we need to now make this 3D. So if we want to do that, we now go select this outer ring, push E on our keyboard. Over here in the extrude window, we go distance to object, and then we select the face. Visible. Cannot complete extrusion, that's weird. Distance to object. Well, where did that go? It's created nothing. Oh, well, that's unusual. Right. Can I extrude that one? Created not visible, wasn't it? Oh yeah, there we go. Now it's visible. Okay. It's weird why that, when I go to object, normally it should, more info. Boundary of selected body, select face or plane. Okay, that's weird. I've done this before, I literally did this just before. To object. And then it doesn't create anything. That is very unusual. Why does it keep making that invisible? That's so unusual. Because it won't fall outside any bounds of the selected body. It will just be in there. Okay, let us try doing that one. I'm going to go to Google. Unusual. So what you can do is, to get around that, you can create a new body, which gives you that. You do the same to turn the sketch back on. Do the same for the other side. Make sure it goes new body. Okay. Now you'll get this ugly bit out the back here, which is fine. We can turn that sketch off now. What we can do is we can go combine, select that body, and cut it with this. I'm going to keep the tool low. Now we have this body here, which we can go in here. You're 26. Turn him off. And now that gives us this one at the front here. We can do the same to this one. 28. Do the same to this one. Combine, which makes that our target body. Tool of that one. Cut. Keep the tool. And we turn off what is now 27. And that will give us these two at the front here. Now, from here, we actually have a bit of a tail light starting to form. Now, if you really wanted to be pedantic, you could have made that solid all the way in through there. Some people do, some people don't. Which actually, I might go back and do that. Which is quite easy to change. So now we've got a solid face to actually mount our lights. Now, if we really want to, this is the point where we'd go use that same combine tool, select them. We don't want to keep the tool anymore. So we just change it to join. And bam, now we have somewhere for our actual lights to mount. Now what we would then do is, because remember we had that offset, so these are 130mm here, and we offset at 5mm to make a wall. Now what we want to do is want to go back into Fusion, create a sketch, offset this -5mm, and then we know that the light is 30mm deep from the very front face. So we want to go back -30, and that will give us the actual depth of the light. Okay? Now we create another sketch in here. Going back here, 100mm spacing from the center, so 50mm aside. So it'll actually give you the center. Create a line, 50. Where did that go? I don't like it when it decides to do this. Create a sketch. Okay. Give me a line. 50. Okay. Sometimes Fusion does play up like this, which can be a pain. So now we've got 50mm each side of center, which gives us that 100mm spacing center to center. So go back into Fusion. Again, we can make these construction lines just because that makes life easier. Now these probably be around 5mm clearance. So you could actually go 7.5 just to give it a bit more, because if you actually look, it doesn't actually spec what size those holes are. But when you 3D print, it's going to not be absolutely accurate. Now the other thing is, it doesn't give you a size here, but you know that the wires are going through here. So what I like to do is I like to give, maybe a 15mm hole. Some people give a 20. So we've got our 3 holes for our tail light. So we grab all 3 of those. We hit the extrude again. And now we grab this arrow and just drag it back here. It doesn't matter how far, you just drag it straight back. Bang. And that'll give us 3 holes from the back, which we can put our bolts through. So our light will sit here, there's our holes, and then back here we have facings. Now as you can probably see straight away, this one's pretty flat, but this one here is like that. That is unacceptable. I can't really screw to a curved face. So what I would do, this is how I would fix this. I would create a sketch off here. I would then go back around the front here to him, and I would hit my P button, which gives me my projection. Project this back here, which gives me this same face on this side. So now I can see him. And what I would do is I would offset this by say 5mm, which now gives me this big circle here, and I would go extrude, distance to object, and I want to go roughly, pick up a point here. So you picked up a dot on this one, and now as you can see, I've got that weird thing, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to select the whole thing and do that same thing again. Find a point there, extrude, and now I have a flat point here and here Well, I mean, that's not exactly flat. That's going to have a minor curve on it. That's going to be flat enough to put a screw into. This bit, on the other hand, is not. So you need to create that that void there. And there you go. That is how you make it fit a tail light to the specs. So we wanted to put this tail light in, and this one is even better because this also has the reflector, which is a legal requirement. So there you go. Now if you wanted to make this pretty, you could literally grab this edge here and this bit here, and hit the F button on your keyboard and make a fillet. So 5mm would give me that. That makes it blend just that little bit nicer. If not, you could just keep the step. It doesn't really affect anyone. It's your car. That's how you want to do it. But that is, in a nutshell, how you would make your tail light housing to suit.